All right, folks, do you remember the candidate for governor for the state of Florida, James Fishback, who I don't think is going to win, but I'm not a political channel, not my job to weigh in, and I'm not here to tell you whether I agree or disagree with him, but, you know, I'm not endorsing, okay? I'm not, don't blame Pro. Don't say Pro is on the agenda of James Fish. No! I'm just covering this because it really matters. James Fishback, apparently, allegedly, got a space in Starbucks approved at the patio, a private patio, and Disney security came in and said at this gathering privately in the patio at Starbucks in Disney Springs, Disney security came in and said, do you have permission to be here? They said yes. Starbucks said we could be here. We've got it reserved. Disney went to Starbucks, changed Starbucks' mind, kicked them all out. We thought that was all this was about. And we covered it. And we covered it to the degree that we needed to cover it. Okay, we were moving on. Now, there's far more to talk about, because if this is true, and there's a big if on this needs to be discussed. James Fishback says, my email to Disney CEO, Robert Iger, after our supporters were criminally trespassed from Disney World for life because they attended our coffee chat at Disney Springs last week. Now, folks, it's one thing to say, hey, you got too many people here. You reserved with Starbucks, but you didn't reserve with us. You must leave. Okay? That is one thing. If Disney actually criminally trespassed them and banned them, then unequivocally, then we're in a territory of too far. All right? Now, we can debate whether Disney should have done the prior thing. You may say yes, you may say no. It's, legally they can. But if they did this, I don't know what they're thinking. Here is the letter from James Fishback, again, candidate for governor of the state of Florida. Mr. Iger, last Friday, I hosted a coffee chat at the Starbucks inside Disney Springs in Orlando, the shopping complex connected to Walt Disney World. I spoke directly with locals about my vision for Florida and solutions to tackle affordability, homeownership, and the mental health crisis plaguing my generation. My generation. We were in no way disruptive or disrespectful to other patrons. About 30 minutes into our discussion, we were forcibly removed and told to immediately leave the property. According to comments that were captured on video, Disney security said that I was, quote, manipulating the youth, unquote. Oh, God. That accusation is silly and profoundly ironic coming from a company that, and then he lists off the things that he doesn't like about Disney, including the parental rights and education law, and you remember how that went. Basically, that was the way they got rid of Bob Chapek and got Iger back in, so have fun with that. He says, as we were escorted off the property, Disney security informed us that all attendees had been trespassed for life from Disney.
Wow.
If that is true, it would mean that everyone who attended our coffee meeting has been permanently banned from Disney theme parks and hotels and would face arrest for visiting the Epcot or Magic Kingdom with their families simply because they had coffee with a political candidate. If that is Disney's position, there will be Hades to pay if I am governor. I will not tolerate any company treating law-abiding Florida residents with contempt simply for exercising their constitutional rights. All my best, James T. Fishback. Now, again, I don't think this guy is going to win. This is video from that night, him being escorted out with his fellow, people who met by Disney security. We actually will play the audio. I'm curious what is said here.
Manipulating the youth right now.
Oh, so you're saying I'm
manipulating the youth? I'm telling you, I'm a Republican, and I'm telling you,
we don't want your kind of Republicans.
Okay, so now you get from that the flavor of this too. When I say that I don't think this guy's going to win, I'm not trying to put my finger on the scale. I'm not trying to be political about this. He is within the Republican movement. He's not necessarily within the mainstream of it. And maybe, right? That's what they said about lots of candidates in the past who came in and made changes. Whatever. If he does well for him. But what I do say here is, if Disney actually did what this man said and trespassed these people for life, simply for meeting on a patio, then oh my, what in the world is this company thinking? And they need to reverse it. If, however, this guy is lying, if that was not said, and I'm sure it would be on video, there's like 15, 20 different cell phones all going on this. If that wasn't said to anybody, then I think Disney needs to go after him. That's the only way I see. Like, this is now so contentious and it's going to make headlines. Somebody's lying big time and it needs to be sussed out. Lauren, you seem to have some doubt based on that facial expression. You should never play poker, sir. Your thoughts?
I don't like either side in this. I really
Tell me
don't.
why.
I listened to the story the other day. I feel like James Fishback deliberately picked this venue because he wanted to cause controversy. And
Yep.
I don't like it when the left does that. I don't like it if the right does that. I don't want you doing that.
But he got approval.
if you're a candidate who is in a position where you're unlikely to win, this is a way to try and raise your social standing. It's a way to get your name talked about. Full disclosure here. I consider myself a Republican. I'd never heard of this guy before the other night, and I pay attention to politics. So I think that tells you what his motive is. At the same time, you would think Disney would be smart enough to recognize that all you're doing is contributing to the Streisand effect here. And if they have criminally trespassed these guys, first of all, I have a feeling that claim is going to be walked back, just because did they actually stop all 150 people and actually charge them criminally? Did they get their IDs of everybody that was there? If so, then holy cow.
Right, and we want to know that. However, okay, so Martin, can you help me out with this? Because I don't know the answer to this. In Florida, do you have to be served papers when it comes to trespass? Ron says yes. Martin, what's your understanding about this? Like, would all these people, would they be forced to receive papers? Or can the owner of a property give like a dubious, hey, if you ever return, we'll call the police and have you arrested?
And obviously, it's also, you give the financial and political warnings all the time. It's also not a legal channel. But my understanding is that you can be trespassed off a property simply by the police coming and removing you. It doesn't have to be much more than that. Trespassed for life, I am unaware of that term.
Well, banned from life, I would assume is what they're trying to say.
Right, which would probably mean their names have been taken down by Disney. Maybe they won't be allowed admission anymore, considering the fact that some of these locations are not like they're open to the public. They're free spaces, since what used to be RCID is itself open to public. I'm not sure that what it means to be trespassed for life from Disney property in that case, because a lot of these are public accommodations. Well,
yeah, because it's two cities. You're exactly right. I've never thought about that. Yes, the RCID sits within Disney property. We're talking about, well, not RCID anymore, but the
Central Florida.
Yeah, so it sits within Florida. So does the City Hall, even though it sits on Disney property, count as Disney property? Can you be trespassed from City Hall? Geez Louise, I don't know the answer to that. I don't think that's ever come up.
Right, I'm solidly with Lauren on this. I don't know that I believe the side of a political operator who is in the middle of a fundraising cycle.
Right.
I mean, there's no reason to book on Disney property coming from that side. You know what you're doing here. It's impossible not to know. He could have held this meeting anywhere. It was deliberately held within Disney spaces, and I would not be surprised to find out if one of his own campaign members tipped off the staff, hey, there's something going on here.
Mm-hmm. Well, and let's think about the logistics of arranging to officially process in some way 150 people, if that number is even correct, because aren't we just getting that number from his side?
Yeah, the video didn't look like anywhere near that many people. It just
exactly. So what, you figure 2 officers per person, the 300 officer response to get rid of I just don't see that.
That's Nakatomi Plaza.
Oh, here comes Jonas again. Ron, let me go to you real quick. Ron, on this one, the problem is we've seen this before where people have been trespassed or banned for life, but there's not paperwork and they don't really know. This happened with and everybody loves Adam the Woo, and we're so sorry that he has suddenly passed away. Prayers and condolences to his family and friends and everybody who loved his content. We're in that. It's going to be very sad not getting to watch content from Adam, and what a positive impact he had on the world. One of the things I understand is that Adam didn't even know if he could return to some of these theme parks after he did, some of those expose kind of videos. And so I don't remember which theme park it was exactly, but there's one where he's like, I don't know if I can go back or not still to this day. They're not necessarily clear on this kind of stuff, Ron.
That was Universal, I believe, because with Adam's situation, he had been trespassed from Disney and then he got reinstated. He got that removed. And that was a trespass for life. So he had appealed to Disney through some type of a writing process, and he got that appeal for him. I have another acquaintance who absolutely got trespassed for life from Disney. And
you get a paper for that, Ron? You get like a little framed certificate that you can stick on the wall? Okay, so all 150 of these people should get a little paper.
So I don't know, like, does that have to happen every single time? I would think that you would need some type of documentation, because Walt Disney World is huge. It's like saying you can't go into a city, right? I mean, it's the size of San Francisco. And people, when they get banned, they actually get banned off of all Walt Disney World property. So if you would need some type of a paper notification, whether that's sent to you. I don't know how they would mail it to you or whatever, but the person I know, like, security handed it to him, and he was escorted off property by the police. And they specifically said you're no longer allowed to come off property. At the time, of course, he actually filmed this, so it's kind of whatever. But I don't think it's a good thing to, first of all, just to be escorted.
May I
property.
ask, Ron, what did your buddy do? Like, you don't have to go in specifics where we can identify him, but what the heck what does it take to get banned from life?
There were some there were some merchandise issues. I don't want to go into details on it, but there was.
Ron, are you saying right now that you know the location of a certain stolen animatronic?
I do not. But,
I tease. That's one that actually get us in trouble. I know nothing, ladies and gentlemen. I have had nothing to do with it.
God. Where are you? Where are you?
Lou says, "Pro, what have you done to us?"
Yeah. And there's another creator who even talks about his banning from Disney, and he's a friend of a prominent Disney YouTuber, and he's like, and he was surprised that he got banned. It had to do with some driving incident or something. But Disney takes this stuff very, very seriously, and I think the issue with this particular group is they were very actively discussing politics on property, which you cannot do. I mean, it's very specific. I mean, it's written down that it's against the policy for there to be like a political gathering, any type of banners or any type of, like, you can wear clothing, you can wear like a t-shirt that says "I'm for Biden 24" or whatever, that kind of thing, but you can't go out of your way to actively be promoting some political type of thing, and so it's they take it very seriously. I mean, I was with a content creator one time who some people just came over to us and talked to us, and after that, Disney security came up to us and said, "Hey guys, lay off." And I'm like, we don't even want, like we're just having a conversation with somebody that came up to us. I don't even know what that was about. So yeah, and you have to remember, Disney has a ton of security personnel that are undercover at all times. They're just like dressed like this, t-shirt and shorts. You don't know. When I was working at Disney Springs, I talked to quite a few of them, and they're always looking out, and there's like 1,000 cameras there always watching people. So it is not surprising that this happened. However, I don't know that I 100% trust this guy's story.
No. Well, so we don't even mean to him. I don't want to weigh in one with the other. But Lou, let me set the table for you real quick. I know you got a lot to say, but I want you to comment on this in particular. When we go back to this video, Lou, there's something interesting.
Talk about.
Well, good. This will just be a reminder to the audience. Then the security guard says, "I'm a Republican too," and then makes an accusation against the guy. And this is where I think there might be an actionable mistake. I hate this for the guy, but let's play it real quick.
I don't know what's going to come from any of this. I don't know who's right and who's wrong. But if I'm the Walt Disney Company and I have any sense, the first thing I do is fire that security guard.
All right, let's play it. Here we go.
The idea that he's getting...
Hang on, Lou. Let's play it so the audience can know what we got. People just joining in. Here we go.
Manipulating the youth right now.
Oh, so you're saying I'm manipulating the youth?
I'm telling you, I'm a Republican, and I'm telling you,
we don't want your kind of Republicans.
All right, so the Disney security guard gets into a political heated discussion about this.
He's violated the policy, hasn't he? He's proselytizing for his political point of view. He should be trespassed for life. Or at least fired, for God's sakes. Shut the hell up, guy. It's not your place. If maybe your place to escort him off the property, but not while having a political discussion on video, which you have to assume everything you do is on video these days.
Yeah, everything's a mistake.
That guy is just totally out of line. Totally.
And
it was a
might very
job.
well. have gotten fired.
And I'll tell you this too, though, okay? Because I'm going to be a little bit gracious here, because I try to be, because we all make big mistakes. We don't know how annoyed that guy had been. We don't know what he'd been through getting that crowd out of there. We don't know, and so we always want to say, as Walt said,
not entitled to be annoyed. He's a professional.
I know. But what I'm trying to say is, we all have some times in life when we're under the spotlight, and we're not usually under the spotlight, and we screw up in that moment big time. I hate it for the guy. Lou, I do agree with you. I bet he gets fired.
He should be.
But I hope
fired to encourage others not to do likewise.
But I hope it's a learning moment for him, where he can go somewhere else and do better next time. Because maybe he was really, I don't know, maybe he was fatigued.
The minute you put that uniform on, the minute you're out there as a spokesperson for a multinational billion-dollar corporation, you have responsibilities that you must obey, or you're out of line.
I agree.
I mean,
agree.
It's just ridiculous.
I agree.
Now, the other guy, there are 42 people so far running for governor in Florida, by the way, on both parties. So the idea that this guy, could use a little visibility, I understand. And probably this whole thing, he could have picked any Starbucks anywhere. But obviously what happened was the Starbucks people said, well, sure, we'll let you have our back patio as long as it's not bothering anybody. And the Disney people didn't like it and basically told the Starbucks people, you violate your lease if you do this. That's the only leverage they have against them.
Right.
And it must be somewhere in the lease that if you use your property for purposes we don't like, you have a problem. But still.
Can I just say that there's not a lot of people that fit on that back patio? Maybe 15.
Yeah, the idea there was 150 people is ridiculous. We've seen the video of the meeting, and it was 50 people maybe.
I am with you on that. And I think the whole thing is dubious. We try not to get in the political side of the thing, but I think there are all kinds of angles being taken that are optimistic for the candidate. How's that?
Beyond all of that, let us imagine a moment, if we can possibly imagine, as much mistaken behavior as we've seen from management of the Walt Disney Company in the last several years. Can you imagine a meeting where they get together and they say, hey, listen, we already made the real governor mad at us. I tell you what, let's make a guy who might someday be governor mad at us. That'll be great, right? That won't cost us anything, right?
Hey, Lou, final question, final thought goes to you then. If you're Disney, if you're leadership, if this guy's lying, if there's 15, not 150 people, if Disney did not ban them for life and he's out there claiming that, should Disney take legal action against them or against him for damaging them through lies?
No, that they should put out a press release and it should say this: there was an incident, blah, 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 blah. It is part of our deal with our lessees at Disney Springs that no political meetings are allowed to be held. People at Starbucks made an innocent mistake, but our people decided they had violated that and told these people to leave. Also, our employee who was seen walking them out violated our policy and has been terminated. We are an open company. We wish everybody well. We don't know who's going to be governor. Good luck. Let the games begin. But this was not a prejudicial act. It was a simple matter of policy regarding politics on property. Thank you very much, and enjoy your magical day.
Huh. Hey, Floral. I just wanted to let you know I have a New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Although, I don't want to say it. It might be like a wish. If I speak it, I'll break it.
Usually a resolution is spoken out loud so you can be held accountable to it. Like, my resolution is to go to thatparkplace.com and be ready to see its new facelift, and to make sure I'm always subscribed to guys like Jonas and Pro, Culture Casino, Lorena Creole, John Trent, all of them.
Well, I actually got Slade Wilson to also make a resolution.
What's that?
I'd get in too much trouble if I repeated it. He took it way further than I feel comfortable repeating.
Well, that's probably a good call. But, what's yours?
It's not to say anything mean about Jonas.
How do you plan to do that? You're an idiot.